Thanks for staying with us.
Yes, I find what you talked about earlier very commendable. But what I am referring to is cultism.
Yeah.
You know, and the worrisome thing is that they make arrests in the morning and you see the boys in the evening strolling around. What exactly can be done to ensure that we take this menace off the streets so that people can walk freely again?
Yeah, like I said, revolutionary tactics are not discussed in public, but I can tell you that...
This is not a matter of the issue of herdsmen and all of that coming in the bush, those are revolutionary. What you need to do with cultism is, prosecution, conviction, and mindset changing. We can't have every 20% of our youth in Edo thinking, it's even a joke. You know, there are skits. You born Curtis, you born, those, I just don't want to, those negatives are popularized. What exactly, I'm driving towards a goal.
Every environment has its peculiar setting. Every environment, every state has its peculiar setting. What is good for the other side may not be the same method that is good for your state. And that's why I don't want to disclose too much. Yeah. I don't want to disclose too much. To deal with cultism is something we can handle. We can handle it. I've made some suggestions before. We can handle it. And when this thing was coming up, some of the suggestions I gave, the CP then worked with it and were able to bring it down. Now we need to just improve on it and consistent monitoring. We know they have records of the heads of various cultist groups. They have all of them. And so in line with what they are faces. They are faces. Okay, so you can deal with it. Really.
Okay, because of time, let me just try because we have a lot of questions I want to ask you. You said something earlier that being a politician, experienced politician, and you rather lead from the front and not from laptops and stuff like that. But there's a school of thought that believes that for you to really make substantial progress in states, you need to create jobs.
Yeah.
Creating jobs is not just doing the political governance. No. It's more of attracting investors.
Yeah.
How do we do to build the economy? Which it seems to some people, school of thought, that obaseki has been able to attract foreign interest into that state. So many will believe that a technocrat being a governor, and maybe a politician being a deputy governor, is always a better combination to drive a state. So maybe it could be one of the reasons why Obaseki believes that, listen, I need a technocrat who is going to create jobs, who can actually continue the work I'm doing, not another politician that will be focusing on, okay, I'll talk to the Obas here, how to just, get everybody happy and, could that be a reason, or do you believe in that combination?
Yeah. That's why I said that every state has its peculiarity. Edo will not welcome any technocrat now. Maybe in the future, yes, but Edo will not welcome any technocrat now. And because of what they see now. That is the truth. I will say it the way it is. You can throw me away, but you can't throw my words. It remains. That is the truth. And why is that? Even in the name of technocrat, I will not pride myself as a technocrat. I've had both public and private experience. What I see now, in quote, private sector is governed by regulation, while public sector is governed by laws. And they come with that mindset of private sector, and they forget the law. For instance, today, we have SUBEB. We don't have a board. We only have one lady. We only have one lady that is chairman and was not cleared by the House.
Imagine that.
That's an aberration. Because as a private sector, you can do that. It's your company. You can decide to fire and hire. In public sector, you can't fire and hire. There's procedures. So when you come with the mindset...
Well, some will argue that that's the problem with Nigeria, because we focus so much on the bureaucracy of this is how it's done. Because somebody's trying to... The solution, I'll come to you, sir. The solution is every child must be educated. Learning must take place. That's my solution. How to get there is get in those technocrats to do the job. Because so all the bureaucratic processing, this is how it's done. Those are political considerations that Nigerians really don't need.
Let me tell you, I handle sports in Edo State. I handle sports in Edo State. And the bureaucracy of government you cannot run sport with bureaucracy of government. When I got there, I discovered that the problem of sport was government bureaucracy.
Yeah.
And the governor has said, we want to make Edo a sporting hub, and you have experience, go and do it. So it's my lot now to find a way out of this bureaucracy and still make sure I maintain standard.
Okay.
And what did I do? I reorganized the financing. I reorganized the system. So from my office to the list person, if I need anything approved, same day or within 24 hours, the people that needs the fund, we get the fund. So bureaucracy is how the head decides to make it efficient, that it will be efficient. Yeah. So bureaucracy of government is meant to create a system where there's accountability and there's no fraud. And that's why in private sector, you can cut the chain in your transaction. In public sector, no matter how you attempt to cut chain, the system still have the records.
You are still in the executive. Why is the House of Assembly of Edo State not talking about this? In Lagos recently, when the elections were done, and the governor sent his list for his cabinet, the speaker stood his ground and said, it must be done this way. Why didn't the House of Assembly or the speaker take a stand about this?
Yeah, every house has its own system and peculiarity. When I was in the State House of Assembly, we have engaged the then governor, both Osumbo and Governor Oshomole, and we have said no to this, no to that, and we come, we discuss, and some of those things we say no to. The see reason why we say no. So if this house decides that everything that the executive bring goes, is their own system. That's what they've adopted.
Acting like a rubber stamp.
I don't know, but that's what they have decided. So I don't want to speak about it. Yeah. I think the speaker will be better to answer that question because for me, I can speak about our own assembly, how effective and efficient that assembly was. And sometimes the comrade even commended us for insisting. Because some of this thing is to make the system work. It's not just rubber stamp anything that comes. You must be able to engage. Through that engagement, even the person saying you should do certain things will not see reason why you should not even do it. And I'm from the school of thought, from my activist background from Two Church, where issues are discussed, superior ones have their way.
Okay.
So, sir, let's go back a bit. You know, you talked earlier about having to disagree with Oshomole just to be on, you know, in this government with Obaseki and support him. What were the qualities you saw in him that made you want to be part, or agreed, because you said you were persuaded, agreed to be part of his government?
Yeah, one of the things you must give to the governor, that we must give to him, was his ability to reorganize the finances to the extent that we can pay salary as and when due. It was part of the thing Oshomole told us that when we bring him, he will be able... Oshomole saw a recession coming, and I said he needed an economist. That was one of the things he used in convincing us. He didn't bully us. He didn't intimidate us. He didn't stop any salary or anything. He had a conversation with us. We had more than 10, 15 conversations before we now agree to support Obaseki. And one of the things he said was that he will want somebody that will be prudent in management of resources and be able to bring capital in. And one thing he said that he wants somebody that can sustain civil service salary without defaulting. So he was able to do that. Till today, he has been able to do that. You understand? So that's one of them. The other one was our effort to deal with the issue of basic education. Oshomole builds infrastructure, red roof everywhere, but the content, we brought the content in this one. So then we reorganized the one of the major problems we also had with Comrade was we organized the tax system. We came to Lagos to understudy Lagos. And when I was asked to handle that, I also went on 1 or 2 training to brush myself on management of that, digitalizing the system. We were able to also take the area boys and remove their toga of area boys and wear them suits and reorganize and restructure our internally generated revenue, where we are not talking about 60 to 70 billion in a year, in a budget.
You touched on...
So those are some of the things that... And also, one thing that is dear to me was health. Health. I've always each time I go to UBTH or Rural Specialist Group, where I have Health Foundation, and I see the crowd that I see there, I feel no. Tertiary institution, health institution should not be the first point of call. Okay. We should be dealing with primary health. Yeah. And by WHO standard, 3 kilometers to every neighborhood, to your house, there should be a health center. That should be the first point of call. And I saw the governor also thinking in that direction. Yeah. So those are some of the qualities, and those are some of the areas I'm going to deal with and improve.
Talk about basic education, because I know that Edo was one of the places that even us in Lagos State studied to see how you're doing. Yeah. What's the success of Edo Best? Do you think it's something you're going to continue or stop?
No. I will continue with Edo Best with practicalizing almost everything that we have done. There are some hiccups, which definitely will, but continue to Edo Best. I'll take it to the next level. I'll take it to the secondary school. We are actually dealing with primary and GSS. That's where we are now. I'm taking the secondary because we still have a lot of gaps in senior secondary school, teachers and all those things. So I'm going to we have Edo Best 1.0. I'm taking it to 2.0 by including the senior secondary school. So it's a project that will continue with some little adjustment. But it's a program that must continue.
Okay. With the fallout of things now, do you sit down and regret ever disagreeing with Oshomole on Obaseki's account?
Yeah, Oshomole, people have asked me, I regret because the governor I supported is now fighting me. I said no. You know, the only thing, and I've apologized, I must say apologizing to Comrade Adansoli Oshomole. I regret when I listen to the language. And that's why I say I don't want to repeat the same thing.
Mistakes.
The language, I regret those language. But in terms of the principle to support Obaseki, if I still have the opportunity, I'll support Obaseki. Because at that time, that was the right thing to do. It's the language. It's not because Obaseki is doing what he's doing now, I will not deny him. No. I will support Obaseki again if that scenario play. But what I will amend is the language. And I apologize again to Comrade Adams Oshomole on the language.
Stay on this, because who is the vengeful one? If you said that, you know, Comrade Adams Oshomole did the red roofs, he did this, he did that, he did primaries. That, for me, is very offensive to have stopped. Because he opened Edo to the world. It was a race internationally recognized. People were coming in for it. For whatever reason, could you have stopped such a thing?
Primaries?
Yes.
Still on.
It's not being heard.
No, it's still on.
How? When?
No, it's still on. The last edition held. The only time we didn't have primaries was during COVID. 2020. But it's still been on.
We didn't hear about it. It's not promoted as usual.
Maybe.
Lagos is still doing the marathon, and it's still popular.
No, maybe because I was not in the last race.
Why are you not in the last race?
For family issues. That's why I was not in the right race. It's still on. It's still on. It's still on. No, it's still on. It's still on. It's not cancelled. It's still on. Only in 2020. Only in 2020 that we didn't have it.
You didn't hear?
Yeah, only 2020. That's what I'm telling you. Maybe because
you have to loud it.
Maybe because I was not there.
So you give celebrities.
My source is not
Exactly.
Okay. We have to wrap. We have just a few minutes to close. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, so the governor himself was in the papers some months back, and he had to do the roads in Benin. And he said something that, you know, got Nigerians wondering when he said that it looked like the federal government was not listening to his request to repair those roads. Please tell us what happened there.
I think I don't want to join the blame game. When we are contesting for position, we can be talking party. But immediately we are sworn in, forget party.
It's do the work.
It's to not do the work. And you must collaborate with whoever you need. As governor of Edo State, by the grace of God, after being sworn in 2020, this year, November 12th, if it means to go to the President Baba and lie down before him, I will lie down before him to tell the Minister of Works, go and deal with my son's state and make sure the roads and whatever I need, give to him. As the president is making that pronouncement, His Excellency Umahi, we see August visitor in January, in March and everything. I have done it before. I got the chief of army staff, I got the IG, I got chief of air staff to send their sophisticated equipment to Edo State, and I was used to. I was able to clear S-men.
Why did you apply it in this case?
I'm not the governor.
You're the deputy governor.
I can only suggest.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you this question. This
is not on you.
What if February comes, the primaries take place, and you lose out? What happens?
I don't lose. I win. So losing is not in my.
You don't know.
Politicians
I remember doing the presidential campaign. A lot of all of them said they're going to win.
No.
And somebody went home.
Let me tell you, if my party wants to win election in Edo, they need Philip Shaibu to be the candidate. If they want to lose, give it to somebody else. That is the truth. I am not saying it because I feel I'm a superstar. No. I have the content, I have the quality, I have the more experience. I can bet you, as we speak now, I have a group of persons that have already worked out rain line in Benin, and I call it Oredo Opela train station. And as we speak, from Oredo, it stops at Umode. From Oredo, it goes straight to Okada. From Oredo, it goes straight to Opela. I call it Oredo Opela. From Oronde, it joins the line going to Warri.
So you have investors waiting.
No, we are working on the program. Now the document is out. Now I'm not checking financing. How will you finance? Which one is the first phase, second phase? I discovered that the Benin Metro line, which I'll call Orange Line, will take 3.5 years to build.
Okay.
Why the Oredo Opela will take 7 years to build. I'm already working on where.
Let me jump in here for a second, because you said something that struck me, and I know that you're a politician.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking in my head, you said that when concerning the roads, if you even have to go to the president and lay down flat.
Yes.
And that, for me, is a problem. It's one of the issues Nigerians I have, especially younger people, saying, we don't want to have to double it to anybody to get things done. Yeah. The fact that your principal, for example, was able to get $70 million, I believe, from one of these international organizations for basic education is because he has put in work. And even if he doesn't have to go and double out to anybody to give him money for basic education in the state, international organizations are giving him money because they've seen the work. So what Nigerians are asking for is governance at a level where I don't need to double it to anybody. People are coming and saying, Edo is a hub for me to build, and private sector companies are calling you, different companies saying, let us put money together to build roads. We don't have to double it to anybody. So that's part of what Nigerians are saying. No. We don't want that kind of governance anymore, don't you think?
Let me tell you, when you are hostile to a federal system, there's no way that you can operate. Yeah. So I will not be hostile. That is the point I'm making.
That's the point. Okay.
I will not be hostile to any federal. I don't need to use state resources to go and erect signboard that this is federal road. I don't need to do that. That money can do something else. That's the point I'm making. Yes. And in terms of bringing private sector, all this private sector, I think we'll have another day to really discuss what private sector is supposed to bring in and what government is supposed to bring in. I will not be a governor that in the name of private sector use government resources to build project necessarily supposed to be funded by private sector. Because when I'm saying I'm bringing money in, the money should come from private sector. My equity should be, if you need the land, I have it. I give you, that's my equity.
Environment for them.
Yes, conducive environment, builds in a major infrastructure like road and water and sewage and the land. That is my equity. My equity should not be taking loan, using government, taking loan to build private. No, I won't do that. That's not the kind of private sector I'll be bringing in.
I also wanted to add a bit to, your analogy of if you needed to lie down, which I see as you being humble enough to go for what you want. Put in, exactly. If you need to slate the meetings, go there. If you need to wait at the door till you're attended to, till you get it. And we remember.
The 6 governors.
Hold on. Remember, Fashola gave us an analogy of how he did something like this.
And following due process.
No, hold on now. He had to make some calls that on a normal day you will be waiting till papers are filed.
What if you're a governor from Soko, don't have access? You call the PA you don't have access.
As a governor, vice president, as governor,
but still assuming that those things were not done.
When Boko Haram was at the height of it in his state, he went to the opposition.
Even in World Bank you are talking about, you need to convince them. If you don't convince them, they won't even give you money. You have to convince them. You understand? So you need to convince.
So, are we saying that he's not a hub
in terms of transportation? Edo is a hub in terms of growing the GDP of Nigeria. And that is a selling point for Edo, for federal government, and for other investors, other multinationals and the rest. Another thing that we also make mistake as a state, and that's why I say I'm bringing experience on board. The experience is that I've also observed that the local government, states are not doing the work of local government. So I'm going to strengthen the local government, and I'm going to eradicate and cancel so the office of, the office, the commissioner for local government and first. No, it will not exist under my watch, because there's no Ministry of State Affairs in Abuja. So why will I be? So the local government need to be strengthened to do trunk C roads. Not state doing trunk C roads.
Finally,
yes. Gone.
Have you picked a deputy governor in prospect?
Let him in the primaries.
Is it a technocrat person you're looking to, or a more political person like you?
I'm taking government back to the people. Practical government. The party will play its role. It is the party that will decide that, because it's key. I'm going to be contested on that political party and our leadership, and that leadership will take charge.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Mr. Shaibu, he is the Deputy Governor of Edo State. Thank you so much for joining us today. I wish you the best February, and maybe after that we'll now come. If you win, we'll bring you back again.
When I win, not if.
Okay, when you win, we'll bring you back again for a conversation to see your plans. So thank you very much.
Or as candidate?
As candidates.
Okay, first as candidate, then the next with governor. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
That's all we can take on today's show. It's Happy New Year to you. Enjoy, eat, feast. Tomorrow work starts. Work starts. Have a lovely day. See you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Good.